Hello, 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 and welcome to Alchemistic. I am Bettina Elizabeth, your Alchemistic, and we today are going to be discussing Chaos Magic. Specifically, we're going to be discussing the core principles of Chaos Magic. And I chose this topic actually today because for me this week or over the last week, Chaos Magic has been a topic, okay? And what I have realized, and it actually is something I realized even before this week, is that there are a number of people who look at Chaos Magic as if it is this scary, evil thing, okay? Which I can, in a way, understand because there are times that you will find people who don't always have the best intentions for others, of course, maybe strictly for themselves, but not for others who are practitioners of chaos magic. So that actually even goes back to when chaos magic first started to become widely practiced. When chaos magic started to take off and be practiced by a number of different people, one of the groups of people who decided to work with chaos magic a lot were Satanists. And of course, a number of people, especially because of their paradigms, because of what they still have in them from religion, from organized religion, they have a negative view, we'll say, on Satanists, okay? A lot of people automatically see them as evil. And of course, evil is a subjective word, but a lot of people have a fear in them for Satanists because, again, of their own beliefs. And a lot of that comes from organized religion. But because of that, because of a number of Satanists choosing to practice chaos magic, that kind of led the way and spread the fear and the belief that chaos magic itself was this evil thing, or was this thing to be used solely when people have bad intentions, when in actuality that couldn't be further from the truth. Because it's like with any practice. With any practice, the actual practice itself has no intentions, whether they be good or bad. The intentions behind what is done when someone uses that particular practice is all on that practitioner, that person choosing to use that specific magic or that specific type of magic. So that's why I want to start, and this will be one of a couple of talks that we have on chaos magic, but that's why I wanted to kind of clear the air and just help people to better understand chaos magic so they can get rid of any lingering beliefs or fears. Because as you know, fear, when you have a fear of something, no matter what it is, that fear is going to end up causing hindrances in you. So to get rid of this, we have to face those fears, right? Well, I'm going to help you out then, starting with chaos magic. So let's go ahead and start to take a look at the 6 core principles. So the first core principle that we have is the avoidance of dogmatism, okay? The avoidance of dogmatism. Now, one thing you will find specifically in organized religions, but you'll also find it elsewhere, of course, even with other alternative practices, is that a lot of times they have these set core beliefs and like this set structure that you are supposed to believe in, that you're supposed to practice, and when you do practice them and believe in them, now it becomes a part of you, to the point that you can even become stagnant or stuck because you can't see anything else outside of the beliefs that were instilled in you by your belief system. Well, in Chaos Magick, that is a no-no, okay? And of course, you see as it being one of the first core principles, the avoidance of dogmatism. So you, if you chose to practice Chaos Magick, you want to avoid at all costs getting stuck in any 1, 2, 3, whatever, in any single belief, okay? You want to leave yourself open, okay? Leave yourself open at all times to change, because that change is going to be what allows you to continue to grow in life. So, to be open to the change, of course, it's one of those things where you just really want to continually allow yourself to learn and accept new ideals, even if those new ideals seem to contradict what you may have thought or believed previously, okay? You will see it with anyone who practices Chaos Magick. They might believe something one week, and then next week, they're telling you something that totally contradicts what they told you last week. This isn't a bad thing. This is them allowing themselves to be open to change. Sometimes you're changing because what you thought was proven wrong, and that's okay if you're proven wrong. If you're proven wrong, then and you accept that you were proven wrong and can accept what you learned, then that is a good thing for you, because that shows that you're open to grow. All right. The second core principle that we have is personal experience, and this is a huge one. Again, for people in organized religion, as well as for people who follow other practices. A lot of times you will see that they will, especially since we have social media, they'll listen to lives on Facebook, they'll read something in a book or read something elsewhere online, and as soon as they read it, they're taking it word for word, that has to be the truth, and then all of a sudden, they're regurgitating back that same thing that they heard or that they read. This is another thing that is to be avoided in Chaos Magick. Chaos Magick isn't about just, hearing someone speak about something and then you take it word for word. Chaos Magick is about you actually going out there and experiencing it for yourself. So find out for yourself if something is true or not. Because one thing that you may realize, though something may be true for others, it may work for others, it may not be true for you, and it may not work for you. So that doesn't make it false, no. That just makes it not a truth specifically for you, okay? So that is actually the way it works a number of times. There are things that just work for other people that will not work for you, but you will not know whether it works for you or not, or whether it's true to you or not, unless you take the time to find out for yourself. So, personal experience, get that personal experience for yourself. So then, when you take it back and do end up speaking on it, you're not just speaking on it because you heard it or read it somewhere else. No, you're speaking on it because you have some experience yourself on it. Okay? So our third core principle is technical excellence. And I have to tell you, this is one of those ones that I can tell you I actually struggled with, okay? And I know I'm not the only one, which is why I'm more than willing to say this. And this is just because, one thing that you want to do is you want to journal. You want to keep track of what you're doing, how you're doing it, what were the results. If you do, say you choose to do a ritual once, you want to write out everything that you use, what your intentions were, anything that you use specifically for the ritual, incense, candles, whatever. But then say you do the ritual again, but now you change some things up. You want to make sure you're writing that out too. Were your results different? Did something happen faster? Did something happen slower? It was a couple things. One, it helps you to stay accountable for your own work, but then also too, it helps to give you a better idea of what really works best for you. Okay? It's hard to know what really works best if you're not keeping track of what you're doing and how it's working out for you. Okay? And then, of course, too, if you do find something that works, now you have it recorded. So when you want to try to duplicate it, you're not racking your brain trying to figure out, oh, what phase was the moon in, or what color candles did I use, or, little things. You're not racking your brain about those little details about what you did because you have it recorded. So technical excellence, make sure that you are assessing yourself, assessing what you do, recording what you do, and just keeping track and keeping a record. Our fourth one is deconditioning, okay? Deconditioning. And this one actually goes along with the first one, the avoidance of dogmatism. And it goes along with the first one because deconditioning is about letting go. Letting go. Simple. Letting go of your conditioned beliefs. Letting go of your conditioned paradigms. And it doesn't matter whether these beliefs or paradigms are about you, or about your neighbor, or about society as a whole, or about the universe and about the world. Doesn't matter. Let it go. Let it go. Because all of us, due to how we were raised, due to the environment that we were raised in, we have these conditioned beliefs and these conditioned paradigms. If you are not willing to let things go, you're never going to grow. And you definitely want to start with the things that came about from childhood up through adulthood, from whenever you started on your path. Okay, you want to let these things go, because for a lot of people, especially the things in childhood, because the things in adulthood really just started ending up being more so confirmations of what you went through or how you were raised. So especially those things in childhood, you want to do your shadow work, because those definitely are the first things that you want to start to be able to let go of. Because once you actually start to let go, especially if you have traumas or anything else that occurred in childhood, once you start to actually let those go, that's when you really will be able to start to see everything else in your life change. Okay? So let go. Just let go. Our next one is diverse approaches. And again, you'll see a lot of these, they tie into each other. So with diverse approaches, one thing that sets Chaos Magick apart from other practices is the fact that there is no one right way. That's actually also why you can talk to two different people that practice Chaos Magick and ask them specifically how they do a certain thing, and you can end up with two totally, completely different answers. Because in Chaos Magick, you specifically are open to what works for you. Which is why, again, you want to practice personal experience. Okay? Because if you're not experiencing, again, you're not going to know what works for you. But back to diverse approaches, though, for diverse approaches, you, as someone who works with Chaos Magick, you're actually open to take information, take knowledge, take wisdom, take practices, whatever it may be, from anywhere that you see fit. If it's something, you could be watching something on TV, it could be a TV show on magic, or actually anything really, and you can see or hear something, and for whatever reason, that something just seems to resonate with you. Okay? Try it out. Incorporate it into something that you do. That's fine. You could take something from Christianity. You could take something from Catholicism. You could take something from Buddhism, Hinduism. If it resonates with you, it doesn't matter where it comes from. Try it. Even in one, you could be doing one ritual or one thing, and you could have things going on in that one ritual from 5 different practices. And you know what? That is okay. Because a lot of times you'll find a lot of these things, even in organized religions, they might be saying it different, but it's all the same thing. And if you know that all is source, all are one, we are all connected. And even for those who don't believe in magic, they believe strictly in science. Even science has proven this, that there is a connection. So if that is the case, then it doesn't matter where you get your information from, okay? It doesn't matter. Only thing that matters is you tried it out. You chose to try it out. And it worked for you. That's it. That's what matters. So, diverse approaches. Take from everywhere. Be inspired from everywhere. Allow yourself to be inspired by everywhere. It's okay. If it works for you, then it works for you. That's all that matters. So that is actually number 5. So now we have number 6. And number 6 is gnosis, okay? Now, number 6 is kind of an interesting one. And it's an interesting one because, we have states of consciousness that we are in throughout the day, okay? At no point in time, or for no extended period of time. Sorry, I feel like I have to sneeze. 1 second. Sorry about that. I did sneeze. But anyway, but for no length of time will you find yourself in the same state of consciousness. Period. You won't. If you take a 24-hour period, you are not going to stay in what's considered to be a normal state of consciousness for that 24-hour period. Because you're going to sleep. When you go to sleep, that's a different state of consciousness. You may decide to meditate that day. That's a different state of consciousness. If you're exercising can put you in a different state of consciousness. If you worked at a factory and you just did the same thing every day to the point you didn't even have to think about what you were doing, you were just doing it without even thinking. That's a different state of consciousness. So, there is really no normal state of consciousness, okay? Because we constantly, throughout our day, are going into different states of consciousness. So that's actually why I say that's a weird one. But and I said that because of the fact that it's basically classified into normal state of consciousness and altered state of consciousness, okay? As a chaos practitioner, as a chaos magic practitioner, you want to purposefully, and that's the operative word there, purposefully put yourself in altered states of consciousness, okay? You want to be able to do this. Now, there are two different states of altered consciousness, though, that are being spoken of here. The first state, which is we'll say more of a passive state of altered consciousness, is called inhibitory. Inhibitory consciousness includes things like meditation, yoga, scrying, just sitting in contemplation quietly somewhere, or any type of sensory deprivation. Okay, those are things that would put you into more of a passive state of altered consciousness. And of course, when you're able to find yourself in that state of altered consciousness, it allows you to open yourself to receive information that you may not hear or be able to receive when you are active or busy. Just because your mind is too alert all over the place, you might not hear, what is being given to you. Now, the second state of altered consciousness is excitatory. Now, excitatory, just by its name, you can already tell, is not a passive consciousness. It's more of an active consciousness, but even though it's an active consciousness, it still is opening you to a point where you're able to hear. You're able to receive information or make something happen, like a manifestation, in this excited state. So the excitatory altered state of consciousness includes things like chanting, drumming, dancing, and then also emotional and sexual arousal. So you want to practice putting yourself in these altered states, again, because you want to open yourself to receiving information. You want to open yourself to the emotions that can come with these altered states, to allow yourself to be able to manifest, to make things happen in your magic, because that emotional response that you get, of course, is something that's going to be translated by the universe so that you can do what you want to do. Because, of course, the universe doesn't operate so much in words like you and I. it operates at a deeper level. So that deeper level includes emotional responses, okay? So those are the 6 core principles of Chaos Magick. You guys know, if you have any questions, please comment below and ask. I will make sure to get those answered for you. I do want to thank you all for joining me today, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day on this beautiful day. I will talk to you all again soon.